There's nothing better than seeing a good comeback arc, and when you're overpowered, that comeback arc is double the fun. Here are 10 anime where the betrayed MC comes back overpowered. Let's go! "500 years ago, the magical world of Alneath was torn apart by a war between immortal wizards and regular people using enchanted gadgets. The mortal hero Graham beat the demon lord Vetal Velvet Vesvolt, yes, you heard that name right, and brought peace. Now it's 2099, and Earth and Alneath have merged into a new place called Fantasian. Immortals are almost gone, and mortals use magic through high-tech implants called Familia. Vetal, the velvet guy, comes back to life in the techie city of Shinjuku, but magic isn't as strong anymore, and his old friends have turned against him. What got me hooked on Mao 2099 is how it mixes fantasy and cyberpunk perfectly, with a demon lord trying to fit in. It's rare to see anime mix genres, and when it's done well, you get something like this. The group of three is awesome, especially Machina, whose past adds a lot to the story. JC's staff did a great job with the pacing and visuals, making sure the story doesn't feel rushed and the fights are smooth. Yep, it's one of those long names that take you about 10 minutes to read. Rudd is basically the toughest tank ever, with a defense stat so high it feels like nothing can scratch him. He's part of this group called the Heroes Party, exploring dangerous mazes to find treasure that could heal his sister. But when the party's super cocky hero kicks him out, everything changes. On his way back home with nothing left to lose, Rudd ends up saving a girl with a rare skill called Appraisal that finally shows what his hidden abilities can actually do. Yep, it's the good old "I didn't know I was so OP" trope, but it's got a little character development along the way. What's awesome is watching Rudd go from getting beat down by the party to standing tall once he realizes what he can actually pull off. The whole concept is pretty much about the underdog going OP, then showing off. It's cool to see how the skills people ignore suddenly become the biggest deal in his quest and growth. Imagine getting dumped in the woods because you're a royal screw-up, then teaming up with a fierce flame Fenrir. That's exactly what happens to Prince Reinhardt, who now calls himself Haruto, after waking up in a new world with pretty weak magic skills. Everyone expects him to fail, but Haruto quietly works on his barrier magic, hides how strong he really is, and just wants to hang out with his new adoptive family. But when trouble shows up, he has no choice but to step up and protect the people who actually care about him. This show totally gets the isekai style without being too serious or cringy. Haruto's laid-back personality and the anime's funny little jokes keep it fun all the way. And sure, it doesn't go deep into world building, but the characters and hints of more details keep you interested. It's like the isekai version of a casual weekend. Easygoing and fun. Way better than the usual serious stuff.
わかる?みんなの足を引っ張って存在そのものがマイナスになってんの。
マイナス。心当たりはあるだろ?
In a world full of amazing ultimate species, beast tamers are the real heroes who team up with these magical creatures. Ryan Shroud starts out as the weakest link on the hero team, but after getting kicked out, everything changes when he bonds with Kanade, a super strong cat spirit. This bond means Ryan actually grows stronger by working with other awesome creatures, proving he can make it on his own away from his shallow old team.
所詮は貧弱な子供だな。
勇者パーティーの一員であるという自覚も実力もまだまだですね。
This is pretty much like the guy discovering hidden Pokemon powers, and I'm all in for it. Hey, come on! The good old OP sword and sorcery stuff is getting way way too cliche. So it's nice to see a beast tamer in my isekai. Just like a lot of other isekai shows, this one balances funny moments, calm scenes, and serious story parts without feeling awkward or over the top. The animation looks good and the mix of characters keeps it interesting. If you want a fun fantasy show that's easy to watch and doesn't waste your time, this one's worth checking out.
俺が死ねって言って死んだんだから因果関係ぐらいさしてくれよだから動くな死ねえ
We're back into those isekai anime where entire classrooms get teleported. A bus full of high school kids get sucked into another world by this mysterious guy named Sion. Most of the students suddenly get these cool powers called gifts, but a few, like Yogiri Takado, don't. Instead of feeling sorry for himself, Yogiri wakes up during a dragon attack and tears that thing apart using his strange but powerful natural ability. With his teammate Tomochika, he's trying to survive, beat crazy odds, and maybe find a way back home, all while dealing with some nasty backstabs from classmates.
異世界ってゲームの充電はどうやったらいいんだよ。
気にするのそれ？
This anime feels different from the usual isekai stories. It's not about someone acting all special. Yogiri just rolls with the betrayals like it's no big deal, which makes it stand out. So it's less about edgy stuff and more about strategizing and surviving. Sure, the animation sometimes looks off and some manga parts get cut, but the story keeps you interested and the characters are easy to root for. Plus, the weird relationship between Yogiri and the main girl really makes you want to check out the light novel.
欲しいパラライズまさか聞いた
What happens when the goddess herself betrays you? Toka Mimori and his classmates get sucked into another world, but nothing goes the way they expected. Toka ends up as an E-rank hero with skills that seem pretty useless, like causing paralysis or poison. To make things worse, the goddess who brought them here wants to get rid of the lowest ranked hero. Now he's thrown into a dangerous area full of monsters and his weak skills actually help him slow down enemies and fight back smartly.
もし生きて戻ったら覚悟しておけ
This anime switches up the usual isekai story by having the main character who's serious and focused, not a typical hero trying to save everyone. Besides, this time, the guy's revenge goal is the goddess herself. The animation can be a little rough sometimes, but the monsters are super creative, and in regular isekai standards, this is pretty fun to watch. Besides, even if you don't like the isekai stuff, you'll still like the revenge story.
お前たちは万死に値する。重力系統第8回転魔術ビラズオ潰れろ劣等種
Alright, here's the deal. The last bad guy from a huge demon war decides to take a break from trying to rule the world. Hides underground for 1,000 years, then wakes up to find magic replaced by tech and giant creatures called voids, causing chaos. Leonis, now a kid again, at a magic weapon school called Excalibur Academy, teams up with Risilea, a serious girl who thinks he just lost his memory.
お言葉ですが、男の子はエッチなものですよ。
不死の魔王がこんな小娘にからかわれるとは。
Now don't be fooled, Leonis still has his sneaky plans to take over, he just needs to get the hang of this new world first, and that's what makes it so fun. Watching this is a total blast because Leonis isn't the usual good guy now character. He acts clueless but is always plotting, and the big battles in school keeps things exciting. Risilea's straight up attitude balances out his tricks perfectly, obviously makes her one of the best girls of the show. Think of this anime like your favorite villain getting a fresh start.
俺の名はニック腕利きの冒険者集団武芸百般の継戦士だ彼女にも恵まれ順風満帆な俺が目指すのは武芸百般を A ランクに上げること
ニックお前はもう俺たちのパーティーにはいらん
Take those betrayals and multiply them by 4. 4 down on their luck adventurers. Nick, a battle-worn fighter. Tiana, a magic user. Zem, a healer. And Curran, part dragon, end up squeezed around a tavern table. Each one's been burned by people they trusted and now watch their back. Instead of drowning in sadness, they decide to join forces, climb the ranks, and earn some serious cash. But the mission they start is suddenly related to their entire world.
別れよっか。
は何を言ってるんだ
しつこい男は嫌われるぜ
This story pretty much surprises you by mixing some heavy past with funny odd moments. The characters aren't just moody, they do strange, awkward things to handle tough times, which makes it feel more real and easy to relate to. It's nice to see an anime that doesn't turn tragedy into this evil anti-hero edgy arc and instead focuses on real-world problems like finding money. If you're tired of all the usual hero stories and want to read about flawed people making the best of a bad deal, this one's worth checking out.
4人をかばいながら逃げるのは無理だ。ここは転移魔法。バリロッサさんたち4人をクライロード城下町へ。よかった、成功だ。
And we're finishing off with something wholesome. When Bonanza, a barely known merchant, gets summoned to the magical kingdom of Clyrode, everyone expects him to be the big hero who defeats the Dark Army. But nope, he's not your usual chosen one. After he gets kicked out to a forest, out of nowhere, he levels up once and suddenly has crazy power that he doesn't really get yet. To keep a low profile, he changes his name to Fleo and meets Fenris, a wolf demon girl who attacks him at first but soon becomes his quirky pretend wife.
レベルが上昇しました。レベルが上昇しました。レベルが上昇しました。
Once again, this isn't a good old betrayal-filled revenge story. This is more about chilling around with a wolf lady while a guy figures out what to do with his life. This show really captures a cozy fantasy feel without overdoing the usual stuff. Fleo's awkward, but his weirdly sweet friendship with Fenris gives the story a whole new wholesome angle. The story moves at a relaxed pace, so you can enjoy the adventure without feeling rushed.
おう、久しぶりだな。俺の腕はうまかったか？そう来なくっちゃな。リベンジマッチだ。殺して食ってやる。
Okay, this should be known by everyone. 17-year-old otaku Hajime Nagumo and his classmates get the usual isekai called Save Humanity in a Fantasy World. While everyone else scores flashy, powerful abilities, Hajime is stuck with a weak transmutation skill that's pretty much useless in battle. Then, after a nasty betrayal, he lands on a deadly monster-filled labyrinth. But somehow, he fights his way through and teams up with Yue, a trapped vampire.
相棒に名前をつけてやらないとな。 そう、こいつの名はどんなだ。
After Shield Hero, Eri Fuera was the anime that pretty much started this whole betrayal then OP trope. But in terms of other anime, Eri Fuera might not come up with anything totally new, but it's a blast to watch. The story moves super fast and doesn't always make sense, but the characters are what keep you hooked. Hajime's straightforward, no-bull attitude stands out from those perfect, overpowered heroes you usually see. Season 2 is also out, so you can binge watch it on the weekend.